Really look at her. Ask yourself the question you've been avoiding for months. Is she truly that accomplished woman you admire? Or are you merely the last spectator of a play whose sets you are financing with your own vital energy? You thought you had found an ally, an ambitious woman, confident, independent. In reality, you have opened the door to an emotional black hole, a void that feeds only on your erasure. Welcome to the analysis of the social predator. Modern narcissism has changed its face. It no longer wears a crown. It no longer demands raw adulation. Today, it hides. Behind the mask of well-being, behind the slogan of self-care, behind the shield of the empowered woman. It is a pathology camouflaged by the virtues of the era. The sleeping man lets himself be blinded by the glare of the surface. He believes he is accompanying a free woman. He fails to see that he is fueling a psychological parasite. To her, you are not a partner. You are not an equal. You are a resource, a battery, a validation refueler, a mere extra in the film of her own glory. In this video, we are going to tear off the mask. We will learn to detect the invisible signals, the lack of empathy hidden behind high-minded principles, manipulation disguised as vulnerability, radical selfishness sold as necessary autonomy. We will see how your desire to be a good man has become the weapon she uses to keep you on a leash. If you are ready to see the truth, even if it burns your illusions, subscribe. Join those who are no longer manipulated by smoke and mirrors. Leave a vigilance like. Show that your mind is no longer for sale. And to mark your definitive refusal to be prey, write the word mask in the comments. It is time to break the mirror and take back your power. Because the predator only wins as long as you agree to play your part. Chapter 1. The Varnish of Emancipation. Confidence versus Pathology. The most sophisticated irony of modern narcissism lies in its ability to drape itself in the virtues of the age. Yesterday, the narcissist was easy to spot by their raw arrogance. Today, the social predator has learned to speak the language of empowerment, self-care, and independence. She is no longer a selfish woman. She is a woman setting her boundaries. She is no longer a woman without empathy. She is a woman who chooses herself first. The sleeping man is seduced by this discourse of apparent strength. The sovereign man, however, sees the trap. This is not confidence. It is a pathology using social progress as a shield of impunity. It is crucial to distinguish healthy self-confidence from pathological narcissism. A woman with healthy self-esteem does not need your erasure to exist. She has boundaries, but she respects yours. The social predator, on the contrary, uses independence as a weapon of dismissal. To her, emancipation is not the freedom to build a balanced relationship. It is the immunity to destroy without being held accountable. She does not seek a partner to move forward with, but an audience to perform for. She does not seek equality, but moral superiority. Narcissism hidden under the varnish of modernity is recognized by a clinical sign, the total absence of reciprocity. She will demand total transparency, unfailing support, and constant presence from you in the name of her emotional needs. But as soon as you express yours, she will use the lexicon of independence to disqualify you. You will then be labeled as too demanding, insecure, or as someone hindering her fulfillment. This is the dark irony of her tactic. She uses the tools of psychology to gaslight you, transforming your legitimate desire for connection into a pathology. She presents herself as a strong woman, but her strength is merely a defense mechanism to avoid real intimacy. Intimacy requires vulnerability and responsibility. The social predator refuses both. She wants the prestige of the relationship without the duties of commitment. She wants your validation to feed her ego, but she always keeps an exit door open, claiming a need for freedom to mask her chronic inability to attach. She treats humans like fashion accessories, useful for her image, but replaceable as soon as the season changes. The lucid man is not impressed by a social CV or the aesthetic of the accomplished woman. He looks at how she treats those who are of no use to her. He observes whether her independence is a quiet strength or a permanent war cry against the other. He understands that behind the varnish of emancipation often hides a deep fragility that cannot stand the slightest contradiction. A sovereign man does not seek a woman who uses freedom to flee from humanity, but a woman solid enough to be free with him. Do not fall in love with a mask of success. Do not confuse rigidity with strength. Chapter 2. The High-Level Victim, the Weapon of Fragility. The most perverse irony of female narcissism is its ability to transform weakness into an absolute strike force. While the grandiose narcissist seeks to crush you with their brilliance, the social predator prefers to chain you through your own empathy. This is the strategy of the high-level victim. She does not present herself as an executioner, but as a survivor. She has always been betrayed, misunderstood, or mistreated by ex-partners she systematically labels as toxic. The sleeping man sees a wounded soul to be repaired. The sovereign man sees a velvet-covered hook. The mechanism is formidably effective. By telling you her past tragedies on the first few dates, she activates your protector instinct. She gives you the prestigious role of the only man who finally understands her. It is a form of inverted flattery. By becoming her savior, you become her slave. Because as soon as you attempt to set a boundary or express disagreement, she pulls out her traumas like a shield. How can you speak to me like that after what I've been through? Your legitimacy vanishes before her status as an eternal victim. The predator does not dominate you through force, they dominate you through guilt. The dark irony of this dynamic is that the high-level victim is never responsible for anything. In her story, she is a leaf blown by the storm of others' malice. If you analyze her past relationships, you will see a graveyard of men who also tried to be her saviors before being discarded as soon as they were exhausted. She uses her wounds, real or exaggerated, as a driver's license without rules. Since she has suffered, she has the right to be selfish, to be unstable, and to ignore your needs. Her past becomes a mortgage she asks you to pay off every day. This manipulation through fragility is the ultimate stage of social control. She knows that in today's culture, the victim is sacred. You don't contradict a victim, you don't question them. She uses this moral privilege to establish an emotional dictatorship within the couple. If you don't yield to her whims, you are insensitive, or just like the others. She does not seek healing, she seeks impunity. Pain is her business, and you are the investor who will never see a return. The lucid man knows that true resilience is not staged. A woman who has truly overcome trials possesses a quiet dignity, not a ready-to-use catalog of complaints. He learns to spot inconsistencies in her stories. How is it that every man in her life was a monster except her? He understands that the person who presents themselves as an eternal victim always ends up turning their savior into the next culprit. Do not be the bandage for a wound she maintains to control you. A sovereign man supports a woman who moves forward. He does not carry a woman who wallows in her fall to direct the gaze of others. Chapter 4. The cycle of exhaustion, idealization, devaluation, discard. The social predator does not destroy out of hatred. They destroy out of structural necessity. Their grip relies on a three-phase cycle designed to break your autonomy and transform you into a biochemical slave. The first phase is idealization. She bombards you with surgical attention. You are the man of her life. You are her savior, her soulmate. She studies your flaws to become your perfect mirror. This is not love. It is bait. She saturates your dopamine receptors so that you can no longer conceive of existence without her approval. You are placed on a glass pedestal. This is the conditioning phase. You think you are in control of the situation when you are already in a cage. As soon as your addiction is sealed, the devaluation phase begins. The shift is brutal. Without explanation, she withdraws her affection. She becomes icy. She criticizes what she admired yesterday. Your successes become proof of arrogance. Your needs become signs of weakness. She uses the withdrawal of attention as a form of, quote, torture. You spend your days looking for the mistake. You apologize for faults you didn't commit. You desperately try to find the woman from the first phase. But that woman never existed. She was a tactical construction. By devaluing you, she forces you to redouble your efforts to please her. She no longer wants your love. She wants your total submission. The predator uses chaos to saturate your logical faculties. She creates conflicts out of nothing. She compares you to other men. She gaslights you by denying your memories. Your brain is in a permanent state of alert. Nervous exhaustion becomes your normal state. This is where you lose your sovereignty. A tired man does not revolt. He obeys. He accepts the unacceptable to get a crumb of validation. You have become an erratic satellite in her orbit. She observes your fall with technical indifference. You are nothing more than an end-of-life resource. The predator is already preparing the next prey, while you are psychologically agonizing. The final phase is the discard. When you are emptied of your substance, when your energy is no longer enough to feed her ego, she She throws you away with surgical coldness. You are no longer useful. You are replaced in an instant. She feels no remorse because she never invested in your humanity. To her, you are a consumable. The shock of the final rejection is designed to leave you devastated, unable to rebuild, while she already parades with her new trophy. She feeds on your distress as a final proof of her power. The cycle is complete. She starts over at zero. You are left with the ruins. The sovereign man detects the cycle during idealization. He refuses excessive flattery. He observes the speed of the connection. He knows that what rises too fast crashes violently. He does not wait for devaluation to leave. He identifies the maneuver and breaks contact. He does not seek to understand. He eliminates the threat. Lucidity consists of seeing the trap before the jaws close. Chapter 5. Sovereign Indifference. Conclusion. You do not win against a social predator. You do not change them. You do not heal them. You do not seek apologies that will never come. Winning, in this context, means disappearing. The only weapon capable of annihilating a narcissist is total indifference. The sleeping man tries to justify himself, to cry out his pain, or to prove his worth. He feeds the monster with his anger. The sovereign man pulls the plug. He becomes a wall of gray stone, inert, inaccessible, non-existent. It is the end of the show. The predator cannot survive without an audience. If you no longer react, you kill them socially within your universe. Understand the mechanics of withdrawal. The narcissist feeds on your emotions, whether they be love or hate. Your anger is a victory for her. It is proof that she still has control over your nervous system. Your silence, on the other hand, is her hell. Sovereign indifference consists of treating the predator as insignificant background noise. She insults you? Silence. She provokes you? Silence. She tries to win you back with feigned vulnerability? Silence. You are no longer playing. You are no longer there. You have taken back your energy to place it where it matters, on your own construction. The price of your freedom is the destruction of the mirror. You must accept that the wonderful image she reflected back to you at the beginning was a technical lie. You are not that God she adored, and you are not the trash she claims you are today. You are a sovereign man, beyond her judgments. To exit the cycle, you must practice absolute no contact. Block access. Cut ties. Delete traces. Do not seek to know what becomes of her. Every glance cast at her life is a drop of your blood that you are still offering her. Withdrawal is a brutal but vital surgery. Sovereignty begins when you realize you need no external validation to exist. The social predator exploited your flaws, your needs for recognition, your childhood wounds. Thank her for showing you your weak points. Now close the breaches. Work on your empire. Muscle your mind. Become so dense, so solid, and so anchored in your own reality that no mask can ever dazzle you again. A man who possesses himself is immune to those who want to possess him. Your life is not a theater stage. It is a battlefield where you are the only general. The final injunction is absolute. Never look back. The narcissist does not evolve. They simply change prey. Do not be the one who stays by the side of the road trying to understand the why and how. There is nothing to understand in the void. Resume your leading role. Become the center of your own gravity again. Indifference is not a posture. It is an armor of titanium. It is the ultimate proof that you have reclaimed your soul from the hands of the one who wanted to consume it. This dossier on the social predator is closed. You have the keys to unmask the illusion. You have the method to break the chains. Never let anyone transform your empathy into a weakness again. Never let anyone make you doubt your own light to illuminate their darkness. Resume your march, alone or well accompanied, but always sovereign. Be lucid. The unmasking operation is complete. The mirror is broken. The shadows are dissipated. You now possess the thermal vision necessary to navigate the minefield of modernity. Subscribe. To protect your mind from the architects of illusion, leave a power like. Signal that you have taken back command of your psychology. Share this analysis with a brother who is still exhausting himself, trying to repair a woman who will only use him to destroy him. And to mark your definitive entry into sovereign indifference, write the word mask one last time in the comments. I will be watching those who have the strength to remain silent in the face of provocation. Stay unattainable.